it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions. It's the final 3 weeks of the season. Still plenty to play for here as we're underway in Week 15. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line.
The Lions take over 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
Here we go! 60 yards.
We don't want this.
Rock it. 10.
On 1st down, Herbert. Jones has it. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line.
Let's go.
It's a gain of 10 for the Lions and a 1st down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance. Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
Check. Watch 54. I got it. Check 3.
Hey, Sam off.
Check 4.
Get it.
They'll run for the first time with Johnson. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the 1st down.
Set. 18, Gator.
I got you.
On 1st and 10, Herbert complete to Jones. And this will be good for a pickup of 9 to the 46. And he's already got 2 catches on the opening drive. They know he's going to be a handful.
And sometimes you game plan for that offensively. You want to make sure that guy touches the ball, and sometimes it just happens naturally. And then you change your game plan. When he has the hot hand, you keep going back to him because he's running routes with confidence as the game goes on.
Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake. They've taken care of that early.
They stay on the ground on 1st with Johnson. And the lane closes up quickly as he'll get about 3 down to the 38.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Right, you know a coach said that, right? Yeah. Not an actual player? Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
Open man, he's got him, the tight end, Hockenson. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
And on their first drive, the offense staying out there. They're going to go for it on 4th. On 4th down, Herbert. And my goodness, this is incomplete. The Lions turned away on 4th down. And on the opening drive of the afternoon, the defense forces a turnover on downs. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. The first carry now for Dalvin Cook. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
A quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the 2nd and the 3rd level.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. On the ground, it's Cook. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll set up a 3rd down.
All right, Brandon, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
And the Lions going with an extra DB here on 3rd down.
Let's go, D. Big series right here. We got to step it up. Both of them tonight.
Throwing is Jackson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
And a nice job here to down this one right on the 5-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
And from that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. The partner just looking at some of the struggles they've had this season. The playoffs are not in their future. As they start to peer toward the offseason, what moves might they make?
I think the running back position, and I know we talk all the time about the NFL being a passing league, but the teams that run the ball effectively, they're the ones that go deep into the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl. They have to upgrade here. And you and I both know in recent years in the draft, people have shied away from taking a runner early, but there's that special one there. I say they go get him.
The throw over the middle, taken in, and way up past the 35 before he's taken down. An excellent pickup of 20 yards.
We go. 18.
No score after one on EA Sports.
Slam, slam, slam. There we go.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down.
Hey, watch this, watch this.
Squeeze.
Shoot.
They'll run on 1st down. Swift. And this will be good for a pickup of 9 to the 46. I think you mentioned in the opening drive that these guys needed to establish the run, protect the young QB. Actually wrote that down, believe it or not. So how would you assess things so far?
I'm kind of touched that you actually wrote something like that down. I appreciate that, partner. But I do think they've been able to do that. Maybe not as effectively as they've wanted to, but I think we'll see more of as this game goes along because they want to continue to take care of that young QB.
On 2nd down, Swift. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. From the gun, Herbert, pressure, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back right around the 44. Say hello to Eric Kendricks. He gets the sack there.
I spent a lot of extra time preparing for this game watching this offensive line because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. They just gave up another one now. They don't seem to be working together as a cohesive unit. Right? 4 guys might have it right, but the 5th guy is giving something up. They've got to find a way to all get on the same page.
Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 31-yard line.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. Had a little arc on it. He's got to find a way to get his head around and make a play on the football.
Down.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
That's what I do. That's what.
Look at me. Door.
That's what.
Check. Now.
Running from the gun, Johnson. And he'll get about 3 as he's brought down to the 28.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
Let's go, Heavy. Heavy, what you got?
Hey, lock it.
What you got, Heavy? Give me something.
Leave him.
Off play action. Herbert going to throw deep for the end zone. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down.
A lot of contact there, but there was no way it appeared that he was going to get a flag on that one. Looking for it, but he wasn't going to get it. And as an ex-defensive back, you love it when they let you play and jostle downfield.
This will be the 8th play of the drive. It's 3rd and 7.
Hey, turn it up. Fire.
Operating from the gun. Herbert. And he'll find Galladay. That's complete. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
70, Indy. No. Spawn, General West. No. Leo. We got double up.
They'll try and run. This is Johnson. And he gets him a little bit closer. He takes it from the 6 inside the 5 to the 4.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the run game?
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
Right here.
They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. So it's been a long drive. They've held the ball for quite a while. Now what do you do here?
Well, to me, at this stage after this drive, this close to the goal line, 3 points would be a letdown. I'm going for it here.
And the 13-year man puts it through, and the Lions are going to take a 3-0 lead. So they get 3, certainly hoping for 6 after a 13-play drive.
So you console yourself on defense by saying you did your job, right? If they go 13 plays, you only give up a field goal, you did a nice job there. But here's the other part. 13 plays, you don't force any mistakes, you don't take the ball away. Maybe that's the way they should look at it.
At their own 25-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And the last drive, the first drive for them, not very good. 3 and out. What do they go to here?
So you don't look down at your play sheet and say, this is what the problem is. Let's find out who my playmakers are. Get the ball in their hands, and maybe the offense will move a little bit better.
Sometimes it's more important to get it to the right people rather than dialing up the right number.
Exactly.
Or the right play, yeah.
That too.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that's caught inside the 30. Touchdown, Vikings. A big play there. His 4th touchdown on the year. Vikings have taken the lead. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him. And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. Back to throw. Herbert. This complete to Jones. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. It's a gain of 14 and a 1st down for Detroit.
Lions, 1st down. 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line.
Here we go. 15 line. 15 line.
Check. Say. Check 3. Check. Hey, switch gears.
On 1st down, Swift. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
No gain on the play. 2nd and 10 at the 45-yard line.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10. From the gun, Herbert. Catch is made by Hockenson, the tight end. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down.
Brandon, they didn't get everything they wanted out of that play, but the tight end did. And I don't mean it in a positive way. Great job of him holding on after absorbing that big hit.
Came up a little short on the last pass play. They did get 9 yards out of it, leaving him with his 3rd and 1. Operating from the gun, Herbert. And it falls incomplete after almost being intercepted. A pick there would have been great. The good news for the defense now, it's 4th down. So the kick from here on a field goal would have been right at 53 yards. But instead, offense out there. They're going for it. Here we go with Johnson. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. He'll get a dozen there, and the Lions have a 1st down. I like that call. I'm assuming you're with me.
I am. I'm totally with you. And to me, they saw something that they liked there. Because, let's face it, it's going to be a mass of bodies. But it feels like the head coach has said, my best runner over my best blocker. Give it to me right now.
And you only needed 1 yard where they were on the other side of the field. Seems like a no-brainer.
If we can't get 1 yard, what are we doing out here?
The Lions now going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this 1st half. The last run got 9. That leaves them with 2nd and a yard. Off the play fake. Herbert. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The Lions quickly now going to use the last of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2. play of the drive forthcoming on 3rd and 8. From the gun, Herbert. He's going to let it go deep for the end zone. And unable to connect, incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
That's a good job there creating the contact to force the incompletion. And now since it's 4th down, that should set up a field goal situation.
And a nice sigh of relief defensively to be able to hold them to 3. So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. He connected on his first. This time it's 39 yards away. And Prater's kick is on the money. It's good. And that will tie things up as we head toward halftime. Well, maybe a nice psychological boost there just to get back to even with that field goal as we head towards half.
Coaching 101 always says at halftime, play it like it's 0-0 on the scoreboard. Well, in this case, it's level, right? Same score each side. Just start over. Now you've got the second half to play.
Here we go. The Vikings take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. You've got less than 30 seconds left here in the half. You're well on your own side of the field. What are we doing here, Coach Davis?
Well, I'm trying something on 1st down, and it's something that's safe. It's something that's been done many times before. A lot of people say it's not even worth trying, but I'm running a draw. I'm running a screen. I'm seeing if something pops, and if it does, that can alter my strategy and potentially get me some points. And if it doesn't work, well, then you just run the clock out and go to the locker room.
8 yards the tally on that 1st down run. Here's 2nd and 2.
40's Mike. 40's Mike. I got you. Mike 40. Watch the run. Hey, we're going Mike 40.
Here's Jackson to throw. Lets it fly for Thielen. And that is going to be pulled in one-handed. Wow. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down.
Mike 40.
Now it's Jackson. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Herb Smith Jr. in the final seconds of the 1st half as his guys are able to regain the lead. So they're able to break the tie just before halftime. Now they just don't want anything crazy to happen on the ensuing kickoff.
Yeah, they want to just add the extra point, get the kickoff taken care of, and get to the locker room with the lead that they fought so hard to get.
Gostkowski now after the touchdown. He'll send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. Likely time for just one final play, and then it'll be off to the locker room to talk about how they can erase this deficit.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people look at it and go, well, maybe you take a shot here. Maybe you get some momentum going into the half. What's the flip side of that? You do something crazy, quarterback gets hit, ball comes free, and now you're down an even bigger margin. Go ahead and take this one, go to the locker room, start over.
So we have reached halftime with a touchdown. That's the difference on the scoreboard. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. This will be taken short. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. A first scoring update now from Carolina. The Broncos have taken the early lead. And we'll try and keep you updated on those events and others around the league as we continue through this one. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ballgame.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
Again, it's Cook. And he'll get about 3 here as he's out to the 30.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
For the Lions, an extra DB in the game now here on 3rd down. Now Jackson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Devon Kennard. He's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. Here's Sam Martin now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Agnew now to return. 12 yards on the return that time, and the Lions will take over.
First and 10 at their own 29-yard line.
Let's go now.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve.
Focus, defense, focus.
Throwing on first down. Herbert. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Anthony Barr able to record his 5th sack of the season. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. Looking to throw. Herbert looking middle, and it's incomplete. Xavier Rhodes, the cornerback, there in coverage.
And we just saw another example. These cornerbacks have played tight coverage all game long. Might start wanting to think about a few double, triple move routes to try and shake their guys free.
You're right, they have had no room to breathe. Throwing on 3rd and long. Herbert. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
And we're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. They punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. Fielded at the 33. It's a 40-yard punt, 4 yards on the return. And the Vikings will take over here, 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself. think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. Give him 18 there and give the Vikings a first down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
On second down, this is Madison. 9 good yards there on the run, and now third down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively.
Mike's Bobo. All day, just like
Jackson. A 50-50 ball here, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Justin Coleman. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
On first down, Herbert, he'll get this one to Galladay. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. They'll get a dozen there, and the Lions have a first down.
First and 10 at the 37-yard line.
Here we go.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on first and 10.
Watch the safety trip.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. Making the stop there, Daniil Hunter.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
Let's go.
To throw on second down. Herbert caught by Jones. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
This quarterback now, 5 straight completions here in this second half. First and 10. Back to throw. Herbert. He's got his tight end over the middle, T.J. Hockenson. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 2 chunk plays in a row. The last one was over 20 yards, and so is this one.
Lions, first down. First and 10 at the 16-yard line.
The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's first and 10. A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
They will come up on a first and 5 following the encroachment penalty. Operating from the gun, Herbert. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
I know at times people think we use it too often, but you've got to be able to throw guys open. And when you read zone, you've got to stick it in there before your receiver gets to the next guy in the zone. Otherwise, you bring him into the play.
And that's precisely what allowed that defense to disrupt the pass. And once again, he'll get possibly back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level, because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey.
And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Eric Kendricks. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Those INTs all sting, but you throw one in the red zone, I think especially as a rookie, maybe it stings a little bit more.
I think what you're saying is they don't all count the same, do they? Right? Interceptions in the red zone that you've given up points now, those are precious. So you have to learn from those and in a hurry.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Now listen, it's a team game, we know that, but where would these guys be right now, Charles, without their defense? They take over here following the turnover. Defense did it again, but on offense they have to feel like, hey, we need to do something.
You're exactly right. And you just mentioned it, the defense did it again. They bailed them out on a number of occasions in this contest. It's time for them to repay the defense at the least. Keep the ball for a while. Give those guys a break so they can catch their breath.
They run it again with Cook. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. The tally there, -2 yards, brings up third down.
And it's third down.
The Vikings on third down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 7.
44 to Mike. 44 to Mike. Check.
Now it's Jackson. And that's caught by Smith. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. 12 yards there. First down, Vikings. I don't want to make a story where there's not one, but he threw the 3 interceptions last week. Looked a little uncomfortable. He looks much more comfortable today.
Yeah, just 1 pick so far and his team leads. So now they can play complementary football, meaning if he takes care of the ball and his offense, if they're humming along, the defense doesn't have to be out there as long. He's taking care of his guys on the other side of the ball.
And they're enjoying a fourth quarter advantage. Mike Daniels makes the tackle. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Yeah, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
This is 3rd and 2. Maybe the biggest play in this football game. They'll run it. Here's Cook. And he's got a first down as he's up to the 48. And now the Lions going to stop us momentarily as they call a timeout. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter. On the carry, it's Cook. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down. The Lions now going to use the second of their timeouts. That's going to leave them with just 1 remaining here in this fourth quarter. Another tote for the workhorse this afternoon. It's Cook. 13 yards as the Vikings pick up the first down. Starting to feel a little to me like the air is coming out of the balloon, so to speak, defensively.
They're taking their will from them right now. That's what they're doing. Whatever they want to call, it's working. They're handling things up front, and it's not just the offensive line. It's everyone. You're seeing the guys on the perimeter blocking downfield and making sure that they're secure. So, yeah, you're exactly right. The air's out of the balloon, and right now they're almost lifeless.
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. Now, the objective there, yes, the positive gain, that's nice, but work some clock.
Yeah, you're exactly right, but the problem for them is still within a possession, so they can't just sit on it running the ball. They'll have to find a way to throw it effectively as well.
If nothing else, they've already taken a couple minutes off the clock here already as they come up second down. Another carry now for Madison. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31. Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game.
Keep playing hard, fellas, all day.
So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Cook with a first down and much more. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Dalvin Cook, his 14th touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage.
Well, it'd be real easy to say that they are firmly in control right now, but I'm looking at your face and I'm thinking I've got to be careful with that.
Well, it's a two-score game. You're inside of 2 minutes. I think you can breathe relatively easily now.
Yeah, you can, but still, you got to stay vigilant. Can't give up anything cheap and easy. That could put you in some jeopardy.
Gostkowski now after the touchdown. He'll send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line.
Ready up.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Threw the interception in the red zone. Costly.
Bad enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when they're thinking about, hey, we've got a shot at points already. We're already in a spot where you're thinking you got 3 on the board for sure, and to come away with nothing, that's a really tough one for them to swallow.
Yeah, will they make up for it?
Ready.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Throwing again. Herbert. Open man is Galladay, complete. There he goes, right side. And he takes it all the way down to the 3. A big play there on the catch and run. 72 yards. After the big play, a chance to finish now on 1st and goal. From the gun, Herbert to the end zone, but it's incomplete. He was trying to find Marvin Jones that time, but it'll be 2nd and goal.
Quarterbacking 101. Never force the ball into double coverage, especially not this close to the goal line. The windows are so tight, you just don't want to force it in there because it could be tipped up and picked off.
They'll go again from the 3 here on 2nd and goal. 2nd and 3. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. Johnson was the intended receiver, but now it's 3rd and goal.
Get your backs to the goal line. I can hear my high school coach right now. This is when force meets force. Got to be physical in order to win this battle.
Yeah, that's where the physicality pays off. A nice job forcing the contact and forcing the incompletion.
Yeah, Coach Ford would have loved that play.
And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Good positioning, and it's picked off. He's got daylight. The 40. He's at the 30. 20. 10. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them into the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
Gostkowski with the extra point. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line.
Ready, set.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time.
This is caught inside the 15. The Lions quickly now going to use the last of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this fourth quarter.
Here we go.
Set. 10-2 start. Hey, do. Speed grip.
On 1st and 10, Herbert. And it'll be intercepted. Read it well, and it's picked. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his second season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
I guess the simple question, why not just take a knee there?
I don't understand either why you would take any sort of a chance. We've seen it happen in the game of football. It doesn't matter whether you've watched high school, college, or the NFL. Some people get a little greedy, try to get that extra running play in, and it can backfire on them. Yeah, it's fun to kneel down in front of your home crowd, but when you go on the road, that band of brothers attitude, right, just us against the world, and get it done, how happy are they?
I remember a coach at a previous stop telling me, you get a win on the road, doesn't matter the opponent, get out of there like you stole something. And they did in this one. So the final seconds have ticked away in this Minnesota victory. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So for Minnesota, it's just their third win on the campaign as they move to 3-11 on the year. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Detroit, the season is really nosediving now as they fall to 2-12. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week.